Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another After Sunset Sunday. Tonight's going to be a short night. I have travel tomorrow. So we're not going all the way till 10 like we normally do, guys. But I want to thank Sean so much for being here. So Sean from The Guy Who Sews is joining me again tonight. Welcome, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always a joy hanging out with you for a little bit, and this has been a fun project. I've really enjoyed making each of these blocks. It's the second time I've done this, and I'm having a lot of fun, picking up fabrics from my collection and just, putting it all together.
I need to get better at doing that. I am not good at doing that for projects like this, but it is what it is. So,
Hey, you do whatever works best for you.
yep. Welcome in, Judy and Katie Crafts. Welcome in, you two. Glad you're here. I know we're starting a little early, but that's also because we have to end early. And I may not get my sheep done tonight, but we're going to try. We're going to give it the college try. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah,
The college try? Welcome in,
yeah.
Chloe.
And I think this is one of the easier blocks. We've knocked out the pig and the harder ones during the normal time frame. And this one seems like it goes together easier because there is bigger blocks on this. So
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think you got a decent chance there, Tammy. I wouldn't worry too much.
Well, with my finishing rate lately, we're gonna still hold our breath. Welcome in, Rayanne. I
Good to see all of you.
Yeah, they're all popping in
Yeah.
slowly, but that's okay. We went live
Yeah, we
early.
kind of tricked them by starting early too,
Yep,
so
yep.
gotta
Got
keep
to
them
do
on
it
their
every so
toes.
yeah, got to do it every so often, right? And
I
go ahead.
I'd say I tend not to do that on my channel because starting at 8 o'clock's early enough. I think they'd all get confused if I started at
That's
7:40
true.
or something. But I
That
did do a live at 7 o'clock about a month ago when I went up to Richmond for the Road to Virginia show,
Oh,
and I did that at 7 o'clock just to see what would
ouch.
happen. And I actually had a really good crowd that day. I was very surprised. It was like double what I expected. So,
Did
um,
you did you
yeah,
warn everybody?
I did. I told them a couple of
That's
days
why.
ahead of time, hey, yeah. But even so, I was like, no one's going to get up at 7. But, I wanted to do a light because I missed the previous week because we had dropped one of our girls off at the airport to go home, and I didn't want to miss
Oh,
2 weeks in a row.
yeah.
So I figured that was a good way of doing that.
Well, summer is tough to begin with. Summer
Oh,
is
very much
so
so.
tough. Um, so the quilts behind me, guys, uh, these are the ones that are going up for auction. So if you didn't see my short earlier, you'll need to go check out my short or from earlier today. It's like maybe an hour ago. It's not been that long ago, but yeah, I am auctioning off quilts on Tuesday. I was gonna do it as a premiere, but I think I've got a better way to do it so I can do the super chat auction live. So we'll still do the super chat auction. Hi, Ollie. Welcome in. He says hi,
G'day,
Tammy and
Allie.
Sean. Katie says, Sean, it was fun to watch you and John as I did the hand stitching on my piglet block.
I know, I think
Woohoo.
you commented on that earlier on my podcast today, or was it yesterday's live? I forget. And you said you're hand stitching. That's right. It was the replay yesterday you commented on, and I was like, that's really neat. I don't know if you've watched my podcast yet today, but go check it out because I was hand stitching Piglet yesterday afternoon myself. So it was really neat. I got a big kick out of reading that because we were both working on the same thing yesterday or today. What would have been yesterday, at pretty much the same time. So I thought that was really neat.
Your sounds like your week is running together like mine is.
Sorry.
It sounds like your week is running together like mine is.
Well, I went over to my we went over to my in-laws for a couple of hours to hang out with them, and I didn't want to drag my sewing machine and all that sort of mess just for a couple of hours. So I thought it was a really good opportunity to take some hand stitching with me, to make it more portable because my wife is a fantastic knitter, and I'm a little jealous sometimes that she can take her knitting on the go. So now I've got a little bag which has my thread and my tweezers and needles and stuff, and I put all this stuff together and then I take it with me. So,
That's
um,
awesome.
yeah, it worked out quite nicely.
Katie says the days just blend together. They kind of do. Mr. Siberian Wind has been out of town, and so I've been able to get a lot of things done. However, that also means that I keep looking at my watch, and then I have to look at my phone to figure out what day of the week it is. Like, I can tell what the number of the day is, but I have to figure out what day of the week I'm on.
Yeah, I
So,
don't seem to have that issue because usually I know what day of the week it is because of work. So
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
I used to not have this issue, but with him gone and it's just me and the dog, it's easy to lose
Oh yeah,
track.
it's always weird when your significant other is gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Makes for an interesting week.
Yes.
Let's see. All
So we
right,
got
those are
this.
these. I chose to do the dark sheep instead of doing the light sheep this time. So it's not quite the black sheep of the family, but it's.
Yeah, I
it,
debated whether I was going to do a white sheep or a black sheep, and I found this really nice batik fabric.
oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
like
where it
that.
came from. It was just
Yeah.
in one of my buckets. And I showed it to Amanda and I said, "Hey, do you think this will be a good sheep?" And she said yes. Um, and just not like this thread. Whoops. Look at this poor mess.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's not.
We've both been through the ringer today, I think. A little bit.
Do
We're
you?
struggle bus
Yeah,
today.
yeah. Try rethreading it and see if that. Ah, that's the problem. It's getting stuck there. Okay.
I
For
was
some reason, some of these Goodman threads that I bought a year or so ago
huh.
have some of the threads stuck around the bottom
Oh,
and it jams up the machine.
that is weird.
Yeah,
Welcome. Sorry. Welcome in,
it's been
Tasha.
only two. Yeah, it's only really like two or three of them, but I don't know, maybe the brother didn't care. Um, I don't know, but yeah, if it's tight like that, this thing will misbehave. So
Gotcha. My bigger machine doesn't like thread that does that or that has a kink in it or anything. This machine sews right through it. She doesn't care.
yeah, the Bonita does pretty well with most things. It had an issue for a while where it wouldn't like two different companies of thread.
Ooh, that's odd.
I know, but that kind of it may have been the same issue as this, and I just didn't realize it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I pick up my Bernina tomorrow. Fingers
Oh,
crossed
that's
that we don't
good.
have any other issues with it. So,
Well, I'll be crossing my fingers
yeah.
and praying for you.
Yep. Welcome in, Susan. Glad you're here. I've been waiting
Yes,
for
good
you to
evening, Susan. It's good to see you.
I've been waiting for you to get back into my chat because I had a whole bunch of people that got knocked off my moderator list. So I'm putting people back. Welcome in, Cynthia. Glad you're here as well. Judy is saying when you retire, every day is Saturday. Yeah. Or every day is accidentally Sunday, or you look up and you think today is Tuesday and it's Sunday. That happens more often than I should admit, probably.
Well, I tend to get up at the same time every day, so I have the advantage of being able to figure out what day it is afterwards.
I'm a little jealous on that one. I sleep in just a hair.
Yeah, because I get up to go to work, and then on Saturday I'm up for my live, and then Sunday I'm usually up recording podcast. So
Oh, that makes
yeah,
sense.
And plus the dogs, by the time I want to wake up, the dogs are ready for their breakfast anyway. So these two aren't too bad. We had a dog when we first got married. If you were fine, he'd stay in the bed and sleep. But as
Uh-huh.
soon as you started making any sort of movement, that was it.
Yeah, Pal is kind of like that. If you make too much movement or you get up, then he wants to be up. Not necessarily that he wants to be fed because there's almost always food still in his bowl. But like he doesn't eat all of his food every day. That is his
Oh,
norm. If
okay.
if he does eat all of his food, we know he was really, really hungry or that something's changed somewhere. We have to kind of take a mental picture. Whoever feeds him has to take a mental picture of how full we filled his bowl so that when we
Right.
look at it later in the day, we can tell whether or not he ate anything. We cheer every time we see the bottom of his bowl for any reason.
Yeah, we don't have that problem here. Like, Copper will eat anything. And Finley can be picky sometimes, but for the most part, she's pretty good.
Welcome in, Jennifer and Zaza. Glad you guys are here. Katie says, nothing like a cold, wet dog nose to wake you up. Sniff, sniff. Are you awake? Thankfully, my
Yeah,
baby
right.
doesn't do that. Welcome in, Mary. Um, I wake up to a pair of beady eyes staring at me. Like I wake up, I feel like I'm being watched, and then I wake up and I look down, and he's no longer on the bed. He is sitting on the floor, sitting specifically looking at me and waiting for me to open my eyes and see him. It's the creepiest thing.
Oh, I'm sure it sounds like it.
Oh, Cynthia says she has an oscillating fan blowing outside of her bedroom to drown out any of the noises at bedtime and the next morning. That's actually not a bad idea. I have one inside my bedroom, but I don't put one outside the bedroom. Um, oh, Susan went to the Lavender Fest in Squim, a lavender farm, the beach, and Hurricane Ridge in the Olympic National Park. That sounds like an awesome trip. Oh.
Yeah, the most exciting place I went this weekend was a grocery store.
Welcome in, Rena. Welcome in, Joan. Glad you guys are here. Thank you, thank you. Judy says since his last trip to Illinois, she's been sleeping in until 8:30 and she misses her 7 a.m. quiet time. No, I would be missing the sleeping in time. That would totally be what I miss. I love my sleeping in time. It's
I feel like I
just
lost too much of the day.
well, I used to feel like that about it, but when my body said I needed the extra sleep, I decided to listen, and so I'm listening to my body, and that's helping my body. It's just, yeah, I'm definitely a night owl because of it now. I
Yeah,
used I
and
used to be an early bird.
I'm more a morning person. If people haven't already figured that one out.
I sure did. You were up way too early for me. Way too
Yeah, well, I am
early.
too. I mean, I am 2 hours ahead too, so I mean that kind of plays into it.
Just a little bit. Not by much, but just a little bit. Oh, so how was Road to Virginia? Was it your most favorite quilt show yet?
No, it was good. It was the first year that this show had been to the East Coast. It's the by the same folks that do Road to California, which, from what I understand, I've never been there, is a huge show in California in January, February.
Yeah,
So
late
this was the
January. I'm
first time it
planning to
came.
go.
Yeah. So this was the first time I came across it. The vendor area was fantastic. I loved it. I think they did a really good job. They had the aisles and numbered, which I've never seen before at any
Oh,
show.
good. Yeah.
But I thought it was a fantastic idea. So that way, if you knew the vendor was on aisle 400, it was in big print. You could see it miles away.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. The aisles were wide. The vendor booths were big enough for you to be able to walk through and everything else. The only thing I was kind of like a little disappointed in, but not super surprised, was with the number of quilts. But in
Okay.
their defense, this was their first year. and they put this all together in a matter of like 3 or 4 months. I mean, they announced
Oh,
it in like
wow.
March, and the show was at the end of June. So being able to get people to enter and everything else, or find, displays and that sort of thing there, I think they did a
Yeah,
fantastic job. I think next year will be bigger and better. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do on the second year.
that'll be
Yeah, I would have
awesome.
liked to have seen more quilts. But again, this is their first time around, and I'm not super surprised by that. But yeah, it was definitely well worth the trip. I got to hang out with Becca and Ian for a little bit. I got to meet up
Okay.
with Tasha
Yeah.
for a little while as well. So yeah, it was a great day out, and I'm really looking forward to going back next year.
Yeah, that makes sense. I am planning to make it to Road to California this upcoming January since it's on my end of the country.
Yes,
So,
it's a lot closer.
yeah, it's a lot closer. Welcome in, Linda. Glad you're here. I didn't want to miss you. I did see you come in. Let's see. Chloe says, I hear you, Judy. I like when I wake up before the kids and have quiet time, but that rarely happens now as she's been staying up late and most days she can sleep in. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I used to do the morning quiet time and now I do the nighttime quiet time.
So she's definitely the late. She's definitely a night owl here because
Mm-hmm.
what, it's 3:08 a.m. where she is.
Yeah, something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Crazy
5 hours
early in the
ahead of
morning.
me.
Yeah.
So
Joan is asking you what your shirt says.
okay, so this was actually one of my purchases from Road to Virginia. It says cut paste. Oh, sorry, cut piece. Based quilt bind repeat.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, there's a nice couple from Michigan. It's called Goldie Lose,
Ooh,
and
okay.
they sell a lot of apparel, quilting apparel, and they try to cater to both the gents and the ladies, which I think is fantastic. I
That
mean,
is awesome.
she asked me when I was there, she's like, "Do you have any ideas for shirts? I'd love to get more gentlemen's input and that sort of thing there." But there's definitely a lot of shirts and that sort of thing there for the ladies as well. She's also has decals for your car, the stickers for your machines. They do sell online, so you can go to, I think it's goldielose.com. I think I've got like seven of their shirts. I think I bought 4 or 5 of them at Mid-Atlantic early this year, and then I went back yeah, because I spent a lot of money on this machine. So I was like, I have to. I told him, I said, I'll be back in June. I'll come buy some more. And I think this one here, they normally sold. One of them, they either sold. It was normally long sleeve, and I was like, oh. And they said, "Do you want a short sleeve?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And so they shipped both of them to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Um, Yeah, so they're just good people. So if you're
Sound
looking
like
for some
it.
nice quilting shirts, I highly recommend them. They fit well. They are very, very comfortable. They're nice and long. Which for me being 6'5" is
Is
fantastic. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, so yeah, if you're looking for some fun shirts, these are definitely a good option for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is what I've done so
Oh,
far.
that's so cute. I've got mine. I've got that part done. Mine is much darker than yours. He's a dark faced. Kind of matches my black for tonight. Welcome in, Pam. Glad you're here.
Here we go.
Glad you made it. Susan says she also wants to go to Road to California. Yeah, I definitely want to go. My goal is to be able to go. Um, and I've told the husband that I want to go. So we're gonna see if I get to go. Like if everything works out so that I can go. We're
Yeah,
gonna figure out a way. Um, Zaza says if she could sleep, she would be sleeping right now, but then we'd miss you.
right. Yeah.
You
Well,
should
we're here
sleep
for
when
the
you
insomniacs
can
as
sleep.
well.
Yeah, absolutely. Pam
Yeah, see, I'm
also,
just
yeah, Pam's also wanting to go to Road to California as well.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be fun to go out there, um, but it's just a long way and a lot of expense.
It
And
is.
since they're bringing the show, 90 miles up the street, um, I'm
That's a
just going to go
lot
to
more.
Virginia.
Yeah, that's a lot
Yeah.
more economical for you. Makes
Oh, it is.
sense.
I'm very lucky and very blessed where I live because I'm close to so many good shows. Yeah,
You are.
Mid-Atlantic's 20 minutes up the street. QuiltCon comes to Raleigh, which is, just under 3 hours away, so I can drive down there for the day. Road to
Yeah.
Virginia's an hour and a half or 2 hours of traffic like it was this time around, and so forth. So yeah, I'm very, very lucky in that respect.
Oh, thank
And
you,
then there's one
Zaza. Sorry. I
there's
wasn't
one in
trying to interrupt.
Fredericksburg. Yeah, one in Fredericksburg I haven't been to yet, but need to go up and see. I think it's the Sewing Expo or something. But it's always around the same time as the state fair. So,
Yeah. Well, my state fair is coming up. The deadline to drop off is August 9th. So I have a quilt top now done. That was one of the things I was prepping this morning, as I was finishing my quilt top. I still have to quilt it, but fingers crossed that Beauty comes back and, she works the way she's supposed to. I'm going to test her out
mhm.
before I bring her home. But provided she works out, then I will be able to hopefully get that quilted. I still have to figure out backing for it too. I haven't figured that out
Oh,
yet.
okay.
Let's see. Pam says in 2018 she went to Road to California with three others and they share the hotel expense. That's a really great idea.
Yeah.
My
And
big,
then,
my only struggle with that is sometimes Paladin gets attached to all the people in the hotel room, and he won't let them rest or sleep or do anything but pet him. So we have to work on Paladin a little bit.
that's where an Airbnb or a Verbo or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whatever your house rental of choice comes in handy too.
That's true.
Because then you kind of, a lot of times you can buy or rent one that has, the number of bedrooms you need, and then that way you wouldn't have that issue.
That's true. That's true. It'd just
And
be
if you're
when we're out
splitting
in
the
the
cost up
common.
between a few people, it tends to be no more or sometimes less than a hotel.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Susan says she'll be taking the three she entered in the Washington State Fair August 15th. Awesome. See, I don't have to pre send in the information for the quilts to, um, I don't have to pre send that in to the state fair. I just have to go show up with them, or I have to get them to some place that's going to take them as the group. Because there's a few places I can take quilts, and they'll take them all together.
Okay. Yeah, one of our local guilds does something similar to that, but I usually take it up myself.
Yeah.
Um, because what we do is we drive, it's up, it's just past Richmond. So we normally drive up there, we drop them off with the girls, and then we take them into Richmond and we show them something. So,
Oh
we
yeah.
make a day of it.
Absolutely. Our state fair is like 45 minutes away from here. 45 to an hour, depending on drive time, depending on the weather and all of that. But August, it's usually not bad.
Yeah.
Let's see. Saw something. Oh, welcome in, Susie. Glad you're here. Glad you
Yes.
made it in. Now,
I think
does
I'm going to
yours?
take mine. I think mine goes up Leave It a weekend usually. I think it's when
Okay,
I have to have it. The quilt top
absolutely.
is done.
Good deal.
Um, if you have seen today's podcast, you've seen the design, you've seen the quilt design. There's a lot of
Okay.
details on there. So if you haven't had a chance to go see that yet, go check that out later on because that will give you all the details because it's not where I can grab it right now. So
Yeah,
plus it'll give you a chance to go over and see the podcast.
that's true. Very true. Good night, Zaza. I hope you sleep well.
Yes. I
Susan
think she's
says,
coming out to QuiltCon next year.
"Oh, that'd be awesome." I just can't justify going across the country like that. I could make it to Phoenix, but Atlanta and Raleigh is just a little far
Oh
for
yeah.
me. Yeah. Even though I'd probably be able to find somebody to stay with, it's just no. That's that's a lot of driving just for a quilt show. And you mentioned that the road to Virginia, they had the aisles numbered. That's something that
Yeah.
I am accustomed to seeing, like Paducah and big quilt shows like that.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I have not, I haven't, I mean, I've been to a few smaller quilt shows, but I haven't been to any other big ones. So it's nice to know that Road to California probably because Road to Virginia does. I'll be glad to see that they number it because that
Uh-huh.
is very, very helpful.
Yeah, I would almost guarantee you Road to California does. I mean, if they did it out here, and it's a much small, I can guarantee you it's a much smaller show. If they did it here, I would be shocked if they don't do it out there. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. That one is the smaller one. That's the larger one. Oh no, hang on. Wrong side.
On the left here and the right here.
Oh, I'm already getting these all out of order and turned around and twisted. So many snowball corners in this one.
Yeah.
Uh, Zaza says it was her 50th birthday present from her husband, and they are turning it into a holiday, probably going further south for some nicer weather. That sounds glorious, Zaza. Absolutely
Yeah,
glorious.
it's usually not terrible that time of year. It just
Mm-mm.
depends. I mean, I think when we went last year, it was a typical winter slash spring day. I mean, I think it was like 45, 50. It wasn't terrible.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, it
California,
could,
yeah, California will be okay weather. It'll still be a little chilly, but it'll probably beat Wyoming weather come January.
it may have been 60. I don't remember. Like, it wasn't windy, it wasn't snowy, it wasn't icy. I wouldn't have gone if it was. I would have just stayed home and said I'll go next time.
Hi, Patricia. Glad you're here. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. We are working on the sheep from Fab Farm tonight. We've got 2 more months after this, and then we have another project that we're going to do.
Yes. Yeah, we got some
So,
fun stuff planned.
yeah, we've already been talking about it. It's in the works.
Yeah, I brought the other ones that I've done along in case anyone hasn't seen them.
Oh, well,
So,
I'll be able to pull my board in too.
well, do you want to grab that real quick?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't have to go anywhere. I just have to slide it. Okay, there we go. I can just slide it in. I don't have
Oh,
to
there you
just
go. That
duck
makes
out
it
of the way.
easier.
Yep. The
Yeah,
goat
so that's my
is
goat.
right here. Yep. There we go.
And then Piggy, who I want to call him Wilbur. I don't know why I want to call him Wilbur, but I think he needs to be called Wilbur.
I think people are helping me name mine, and one of them is Wilbur, I think. The chicken. I've got mine
That's the
down here.
children.
Yep.
I love this fabric. I got gifted this from one of my wonderful viewers, Nancy. Um,
Ah.
Actually, I think most of this was from her. This fabric, which is actually the same that I'm using for the nose, I think, on the sheep. It is, yeah.
That is so
So there's
fantastic.
that.
It's gorgeous.
And then the horse and the strawberry.
Horse and strawberries are up here.
And this is the one where I did it backwards because I actually cut out the fabric for this fabric for the mane and vice versa. And then I realized
Oh.
I did it. I'm like, I'm not changing it. And it turned out really nicely anyway.
Welcome
And
in,
then
Ron.
the cow.
And there's my cow.
And that's everything, right? I'm not missing
Nope.
one. Am I? Oh, the
The
bee. Where
bee.
did the bee
Yep.
go? I had the
I don't
bee
know.
earlier. Okay, well, the bee we'll find later on. You just won't get to see that right this minute.
I'm glad you're here, Ron. Welcome in, sir. Four-star Surgeon General is Ron.
Oh, okay.
And guys, if you have a YouTube channel, if you want to do exclamation selfie in the chat, Nightbot will put a link to your channel in the chat so that everybody can go click over and subscribe and watch some of your content. So yeah, that's the quick, dirty, and easy way to do it. I do not mind. I have it there for that exact reason.
Very
He
nice.
he was co-sharing the hanging out duties over at William's channel on Saturday night with me. So he and I were both hanging out there with with William.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Oh
He
yeah.
seems like a lot of fun. Um, I drop into his lives whenever I can because he's
Mm-hmm.
always on late because he's out there in California, and I'm like, yeah, he'd be fun to have on my live one day, but I don't think there's any hope that he's going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be live with me at 5.
Yeah, he is very much a night owl. I will, yeah,
Yeah,
very much a night owl.
I
It
know.
would,
Maybe we'll have to work something out together someday.
yeah, you'd be a little hard pressed on that one.
Yeah,
There
I
we
was like,
go. And sorry,
ah,
Jennifer has. Oh, you're fine. You're fine, Ron. You don't have to be fast. Jennifer has dropped her link in there, guys. So if you have not checked out Prepped for Eternity Homestead, that is Jennifer's channel. Go click over and check her channel out. Subscribe, like, leave appropriate comments, that kind of thing. We are always respectful here, so let's keep it going.
yep. No, we've got a pretty good community here.
Oh
Have
yeah,
very few we have very few problems, thankfully.
yeah.
So
I have not had nearly some of the problems that I hear about, but give it time. Give it time. Let's
yeah,
see.
I've been
Yeah.
lucky in that respect too.
You are not wrong, Katie. She said William may still be awake when Sean goes live. You are not joking.
Yeah.
Um, that's more likely going to be what the thing is. It's not going to be him getting up early enough. It's going to be he just hasn't gone to bed yet. William,
Yeah.
I think, works overnight, so when
Oh,
he's
okay.
doing his lives, that is his morning. If
Gotcha.
I
That makes
if
sense.
if I am not mistaken, I don't know his exact work schedule or anything like that, but that is
Right.
my understanding. So, and I'm usually good about catching him. Not all the time,
Yeah.
but he's even sometimes really late for me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Yeah, I
I'm
see
not.
him once in a while, but
Yeah.
not super often.
Okay, so this quilt pattern is Fab Farm. It is an Elizabeth Hartman pattern. And I believe I do have, let's see. Let's see if Nightbot is still liking me. Uh, there we go. There is a link to the pattern for this quilt. I have the kit. I bought the kit from a quilt shop. Um, and yeah, so I'm doing from a kit, and Sean is doing from his scrap stash or his stash. He
Yeah.
he he
So you,
has he has a supply.
and the nice thing about these patterns too is you don't, except for the background, of course. If you
Mm-hmm.
make the small, which is 38 by 38 or 39 by 39, I forget which one it is. It's an inch difference. It's not really that big a deal.
Yeah.
Um, you're only making one of each animal.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need a whole lot of each color or whatever it is. So you can, if you got a little bit of pink and a little bit of gray and black and that sort of thing laying around, you can pretty much just buy the PDF, or if you want to print a pattern, a lot of quilt stores sell it, or Elizabeth Hartman's website sells it, and you can just do it yourself. You will need to have a couple of yards of background fabric for the quilt.
Or you can
But
just
other
make
than that, yeah.
the animal you like, or the animals you like. Um, you don't have to make the full pattern either. Welcome in, Pumpkin's Patchwork. If you have a first name you'd like me to call you, please put it in the chat, and I will try to do my best to remember it. Welcome to my chat. I think first time I've seen you in here, and I'm glad you've
Yes.
subscribed.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun. She's been a long time supporter of my channel.
Hey,
So it's good to see her back again. She's been
yay!
out for a little bit. So, but yeah, she's back in action. So
That's
that's really
awesome.
good.
So Ron said the more he watches quilters, more likely he'll join the cult, and then he's just kidding. Josh is going, join us.
Hey, you're always welcome.
Yeah, Ron, I've done quite a few different styles of quilts throughout the years. There's always, you don't even have to go full into quilting. You can patchwork piece things and then make clothing out of it. Yeah, there's all kinds of things you could do. You
Just
don't
trying
have
to
to be
make sense of
you
this.
don't have to be quiltless sewing all the time.
No, not at
um,
all. I mean, you do what makes you happy.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's why I had like 8 projects going on at once because today I feel like doing this, and then tomorrow I'll feel like doing something totally different.
You only have 8 going? Are
Well,
you sure you're a quilter?
well, 8 sounds like a good number. It's probably closer to like 25, but we won't talk about that today.
Well, we could, because 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I've got over 20 project boxes at this point, so yeah.
Now, if we talk
And
about,
and they're all
completed
full.
quilt tops in that total, then we won't even talk about that number.
No, completed quilt tops we're adding another 15 probably still that are not
That's a
quilted.
whole separate category, in my opinion.
It is.
Okay,
They're in
good.
a
I'm
whole
glad I'm
sec.
among friends.
They're in a whole separate part of the room. They're underneath the long arm frame. Like they're sitting on the shelf underneath the long arm frame. So yeah, they are a different category.
Okay, that's good to know.
Because those are just, tops that need to be quilted. That is not, you could decide to quilt by page or quilt by check, or you could decide to quilt, yourself, or you have all
Yeah.
those options when you get to that point. So I feel like I'm missing something. Okay. I know I'm missing that. Mm.
So in the chat, I'm curious to know, like, has anyone ever tried one of these Elizabeth Hartman patterns or Art East, which is very, very similar, which is what I make a lot of as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if not, is it something that you'd like to try? Love to hear in the comments what you'll think about that.
Great
I mean, these are my
question.
favorite style.
Yeah, Elizabeth Hartman patterns can be a lot of fun. Um, this is actually my second ever Elizabeth Hartman. My first one is Star Systems, and the pattern was not big enough for what I wanted, so I doubled everything, and I still have all my cut off half square triangles that I have not done anything with. So it is not a completely finished round circle project. Ron says he saw a diamond stitches shirt. He thought he might have to try that. Not a quilt, but kind of quilted. Exactly. You can dip your toe. We won't judge you for dipping your toe into the water. Um, Jennifer says she must be strange. She can't start a new project until she completely finishes what she's working on. She's new. Maybe it will change. Um, that's actually
There
not
are
a bad place to be.
No, there are some, quite a few people that I know that are like that, where they are, what I call monogamous quilters, where they start one project, they do it to completion, then move on to the next one. And if that's what makes you happy and that's how you work best, then go for it. I have too much ADD, I guess, or I get pulled in too many different directions, or I see something shiny. So yeah, now if you're waiting for me to do one project at a time, you're waiting a very, very long time.
Right. Let's see. Pam's been working on a couple of aged projects herself this month. She made major design changes, so they're not what they were going to be. That's fantastic. It's kind of liberating when you take something that has been sitting there a while and you just don't know what to do with. And then when you pick it back up, you have a vision and you can do something totally different with it. That is so fantastic. Welcome in, Kathy. Glad you're here. Tasha has not done an Elizabeth Hartman. She has one of Elizabeth Hartman and one of Art East on her wish list. And one that has otters. One of them has otters. She's going to make herself an otter sampler at some point. That's adorable.
Is that the one of the ice? There's one with otters that has ice creams, and I think I
Oh,
that was an Art East one.
that would be so
And
cute.
yeah, I have that pattern somewhere. I
Hi,
haven't done that
Kathy.
one yet.
Hi, Kathy. Welcome in. Let's see. Mary says she made the flamingo. It was fun. It was her first small pieces quilt, right? There's a lot of that. Ollie says he hasn't tried Elizabeth Hartman patterns, but This one does get him interested. He wants to design his own quilt if he ever makes another. He's not typically a quilter. He just
Oh,
hangs
very
out with
nice.
us.
We're always happy to have him, you know. He's always a lot of fun.
Oh, Tasha, you're so funny. Because I told Ron he could dip his toe into the water and we wouldn't judge him. She said if he dips his toe in the water, she might push him in. She might have to shove him into the water. Rayanne, yeah, Rayanne just bought dogs and sweaters. She hasn't done any of the Elizabeth Hartmans yet.
That's a
Uh,
fun pattern. I have not made it. My sister bought that pattern. I think she made it. There's one I'm actually working on at the moment, which is a Halloween Darksons pattern by Art East.
oh,
And
I
that one is
saw that
cute.
one. I saw that one.
Yeah.
I was having to walk away from the computer so I didn't push
Oh,
buy. um okay, so the one with the ice cream is the one on Tasha's list. Ron's joking that Tasha would push him in the deep end, and she's gonna keep him quilting. She gets her say in it.
yep.
Cynthia says she is new to quilting also. She had two projects going on at the same time and it stressed her out. She'll learn eventually how to be a true quilter. Okay. There is nothing wrong with being a quilter that does one project at a time. You weirdos. There's just nothing wrong with it. Oh, Ron and Tasha are joking back and forth about oh, him dipping his head or getting into the water at Tasha's behest of quilting. And then Kathy says to be a true quilter, you need 15 projects going with as many UFOs. You don't
Oh,
have to, but it sure is a lot of fun to do it that way.
I was always joking recently that I'm not a real quilter because I'd never, yeah, up until quite recently, I'd never done like some of the traditional blocks like the what's it called? The log cabin. I'd never
Oh,
done one of
okay.
those until quite, I hadn't done one of those until quite recently. And I'm like, I didn't know that I could call myself a real quilter until I'd done that. That's quilting 101, I think. I guess that's what they teach you when you first go to quilt school.
Oh no, there's no quilt school. It is all dip your toes in, then get bit and find out that you really kind of enjoy it a little too much. And
I say I'm a proud YouTube graduate, YouTube university graduate.
there you go. There you go. Okay, Kathy says you don't have to have 15 projects and then more UFOs, but it seems to happen. All right, let's see where I'm at. Okay, I know I have not done any of the feet yet, so I can start putting that together while I double check all my other pieces. This is actually going together really fast, faster than I
Yeah,
expected.
yeah. Now this one goes together lickety split.
Let's see.
Where's in until you find.
Tasha says she used to be a one project at a time gal, but now she's got 15 project boxes. She doesn't know what happened. That's because you forgot the life raft. Just kidding. Ron says he's not going to quilt school. He barely graduated high school. Oh, let's
Oh,
see.
that's not good.
Oh, what'd you do? What's wrong?
I think I did this backwards.
Oops. Nobody's gonna know.
I know,
Or are they?
except
Or
for
are they gonna
30.
know? I feel like we
I'm
need that.
about to find out.
I feel like we need that little audio. Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. uh, Jennifer says she's
Back.
currently doing a hunter star, and she's hoping she didn't take on too much. And
No, the Hunter Stars are good. That's a fun project. I've done two of those,
I've
and
not done one yet.
yeah, no, you'll have fun with that. It'll look slightly different, but I'm not changing it.
Okay. I don't blame you.
No, it's
Ooh.
not going to make that big a difference.
I knew I was forgetting something. Here we go. That to that. And this to that. Let's make sure I turn them the right direction. Let's see. Joan says you need to have at least 3 at a time so you don't get bored with the first one, right? I think that's what happens to most of us, is we get into a project that has a lot of cutting or a lot of trimming or a lot of pressing, and then to soothe our worried little hearts, we pick up another pattern to start working on. That, or we do the ooh shiny and just see something we have to have and have to start working on immediately and can't wait for these other 300 projects to be finished.
Shoot that thing. Yeah. Right.
Ollie says he got a lot of help from the people that quilt with treadles. Bonnie Hunter, Cindy Peters are a couple that helped him make his first quilts. Yes, Bonnie Hunter does a fantastic job of that. But I am doing a mystery. Ron is asking, how tall is Sean? He looks kind of short, lol. And then he says running so he doesn't catch me.
No, that's something that people have said to me, or like, when I've met people at QuiltCon and other quilt shows, and that the first thing they'll tell me is, "Oh, I didn't realize you're so tall." When I stand up, it's kind of hard to see here in a chair, but I'm actually 6'5". Or if you're in a metric world, about 190, 92 centimeters. So,
You know more than I do then, because I would not have known that conversion. So now,
yeah.
Ron, we have to ask, because you were asking how tall Sean is. How tall are you? We just gotta ask. we can't leave it. We can't leave it untouched at this point. Susan sewn 2 pandas for Elizabeth Hartman's Pandas and Sweaters. She made 3.
That's a fun.
Yeah, I was watching Becca put that one together.
Uh-huh.
Susan made 3 legendary quilts. 2 of them were on commission. And she has the Dachshund pattern. She also has a couple of Art East patterns she bought when she was in Tucson. Oh, that's crazy. That's a lot of Elizabeth Hartman patterns.
Yeah, the pandas and sweaters is fun. I challenged Becca to do that, and we put the first part of it together, and she made it monster. I think she made it for a friend Mary,
Yeah, I
and
remember her talking about
I think it
making
was
it
like
for
a king
Mary.
size bed. That thing was a monster. Mine's a lot smaller. It has 8. I've still got to quilt that thing, so um, it'll get done eventually.
My poor puppy is so distraught that I'm busy. He has been sleeping all day. But however, now that I am busy, he is so distraught. He is going and pulling out every single toy from his toy box. He just brought out his blankie to wrestle with, because he's
Oh,
not allowed to wrestle with any of my quilts anymore. Uh, Jennifer says she's 5 foot barely, so that means you are really tall. She needs you to go grocery shopping with her. She always has trouble reaching stuff.
oh, okay. I'd be happy to help. I've done that. People ask me in the stores sometimes for help, and I'm always more than happy to do it. It was like, I'll reach on the top shelf and grab something myself, but then I'm like, yeah, if I was 5 foot, that would not be as easy. And there was one poor lady one time I saw her climbing up the shelves and I yelled at her. I said, get down. Like, don't do that. Because I was worried the thing was going to collapse. I know how those things are built. They're not
Yeah.
designed to support that sort of weight. So I was like, just tell me what you want and I'll get it down for you.
Well, Ron is shorter, but he's only shorter by a little bit. He's 6'2".
Oh, okay. That's basically the same.
Yeah, it's not that far off. From
No.
my vantage point at 5'4", you guys will look the same height.
Oh, yeah.
I am definitely
Not a
short.
big difference.
Oh, Ollie says he's 6'1". He's finally short. Now that we've got some tall guys in the chat. Oh, that's so funny. Susan says she seems to be collecting Wendy Shepherd patterns now. I don't think I've seen any of hers yet. I'll have to look her up later.
Yeah, I'm definitely collecting all the Art East ones. That's in my jam recently. I'm working on several of that. Oh, the Halloweeny thing.
Uh
This is the latest one.
huh. That is so stinking cute. I saw
Yeah,
that
so this is
pattern and just about died, but yes, so
yeah, so
adorable.
it's about halfway done. It sits in a pumpkin that I have not made yet. So
Oh, I love Halloween, and Chloe I think is the one who sent me the link to it when she saw it first. And oh my gosh, it was so hard to not hit buy. It was just absolutely devastatingly hard to not hit buy.
yeah, well, it'll be available for a while, and it actually goes together a lot easier than what you might think. Like if it's no harder than what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So you can definitely do it, but yeah, if you want to do it later on, it's not like it's only going to be on sale for 3 weeks and then you're out of luck.
Yeah, I've got two other Halloween projects that have to come first because I bought them first. So they have to come first, and I still have to quilt um, my Halloween town that I did last year. I still haven't quilted it yet. I
Yeah,
need to get it quilted.
I don't really have a Halloween quilt yet. So,
I have another pattern I bought too. It's bats. It's
oh,
so
there you
cute.
go.
It's so cute. Ron, is this the Bernina live stream? Maybe I'll learn a trick I can use. Well, the machine he's sewing on in front of him is not a Bernina, but he does have his Bernina in the background. And then, of course, I
Yes.
have a lot of well, I have three Berninas. Two regularly used and one that is a vintage that I've just recently got. Susan says she used to be 5'7". She's lost over an inch with aging. A week ago, she was trying to reach a college basketball player. Oh, reach. And a college basketball player got something for her.
Yeah.
Oh.
If I see someone that's trying to reach the top shelf, I'll just ask them, "Hey, do you want me to get that down for you?" And sometimes they're like, "No, I've got it." Sometimes they're like, "Oh, this is fantastic." I just think it's nice, if we can all help each other out with those little things.
Oh, yeah. I actually, at one point, I don't have it here in my studio anymore like I used to. I don't know where. Maybe I think my husband put it in the kitchen behind the or beside the fridge, maybe. But I have a step ladder. Oh, I know where it's at. Never mind. I have a step ladder that I bought specifically for my quilting studio because I would put stuff on up on top shelves and not be able to reach it.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I have my very own step ladder that is perfect for me and the way that I move and reach. So it is fantastic. I love that thing. Ron is wanting to know what machine you're using now. He's asking if it's a FAF.
Yes, it is. It's a Farf Ambition 620. I purchased it earlier this year because I was using a Brother. I forget what the model number was. It was, entry level. It was like $80 that my wife bought for me for 11 years ago, and I loved that machine. It was an absolute champ. I pieced on it. I quilted on it. I got the Benina for a fantastic deal, and I did mostly quilting on that. But for piecing, I used it proper until I basically killed it, just from use. And then I ended up buying this machine earlier this year at a quilt show, and I've really, really enjoyed this one so far too. But the Benina was actually out in action earlier today. I was doing some quilting on it as well. So both machines do get used.
Yay! Well, when Beauty comes back from her week long, I can't even call it a spa day anymore. I think it's a mental health vacation that she took.
Yeah.
When she finally gets back, provided she comes back tomorrow, like I'm hoping, she's going to go back on the quilt frame. She's going to finish up the quilt that's sitting there waiting. It was partially quilted. And then I've got to put the State Fair quilt on there and get it quilted up. I am
Really
on
should get my living
timelines.
room.
Rayanne says she used to be 4.5 inches tall, and because of her back problem, she's now 5'1.5", and she's tempted to take a reacher with her to the store. I don't blame you.
Not
I
a
don't
bad
blame
idea if you can't find someone to help you, you know.
that, or just take one of those bullhorn things with you, and anytime you need help, just go, I need someone tall on aisle 3.
But all kidding aside, like if you find someone that can get it for you, just ask them. They're more, most people are more than happy to help you out, you know. So people
Yeah,
are not afraid to ask me. I'm more than happy to help them. And I'm thinking most people will be more than happy to do it for you.
I just need to get you a shirt, Rand, that says, I'm short. Please reach that for me. And it'll have arrows pointing to both shoulders. Joan says her one son in law is 6'8" and her other son in law is 5'4". Her one grandson is 18, second grandson is 16, and granddaughter is 14. All three are taller than her, and she's 5'2". My son at 13 was already taller than me. I fully admit that I am not vertically gifted. Not vertically gifted at all. Let's see. Susan says that the two Art East patterns she has are tail wags and cat scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I have
think
goats. I have goats in pajamas, but I haven't started it yet.
I think Chloe did the goat in pajamas, or at least one block of it, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
there's a lot.
Um,
There's a lot of cutting to goats in pajamas. It is a lot of cutting. Jennifer says.
yeah, I've got to finish all the ones I have first before I can go ahead and buy more.
Oh, come on. Where's the fun in that? Jennifer says she does that in her house. She calls for tall kids when she can't reach something. Yeah, I climb on counters. When I move into a place, I look at the counters to see if I feel like they're sturdy enough before I will rent an apartment or a house or whatever, because I already know I'm gonna need to get into those upper cabinets. And
Mhm.
my husband was technically taller than me. I think he is now my height, if not a little bit shorter. So he is no longer the tall reach above me for things most of the time. Like some things he can reach better than I can, but most things I can reach better than he can. So
Do I do that backwards?
let's see.
No, I did not. Okay, good.
It also means I can fit into small, tiny places, and I can scare the daylights out of people because I can pop out of places, behind doorways and things. Oh,
Yeah,
Kathy is only 5'2" as well.
yeah, and see, like you folk that are 5'1", 5'2", 5'4", you have my jealousy when you fly. Because you can all fit into them tiny little seats, and I'm like scrunched up like an accordion. So, there's pros and cons. There really is pros and cons to both.
Well, I will say this: I have not flown since I have a service dog, or since I got my first service dog in 2014. Um, but I won't really have that much leg room when I fly because I will have to have the dog probably in the floorboard or the floor space.
Right.
So we will see the next time I fly. Kathy says she doesn't fly. Her husband is 6 foot. Oh goodness. So he's got the
Yeah.
height. And Susan's got Elizabeth Hartman's cats in pajamas pattern. See, I've got goats in pajamas from Artie's. I don't have cats in pajamas.
I think it's one of the newer ones, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it is. It is. She said the Wendy Shepherd patterns she has are feeling crabby and just kitten around. They sound cute. don't tend to do a lot of quilts like this that have a lot of sampler blocks. If you want, and these are technically sampler blocks. I don't tend to
Right.
do a lot of these, but it's fun for a break from everything else. Let's
Yeah, whereas
see.
this is my jam. This is what I do pretty much all the time.
Oh, Kathy, you're cracking me up. She says she still doesn't ask the 6 foot tall husband for help if she needs anything. She has a grabber or a broomstick. Oh.
Hey, whatever works for you, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I ran out of things I can sew without taking it off the machine. So now I have my half square triangles. I did
So you
pull.
done already?
I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Normally, I'm the one slower, you know, slower sewing on these, but this has gone together pretty quick. I have 3 more to sew.
Right. That's why I did the small one.
I'll do them later this week, probably. Just depends on what I have to do.
Hey.
Ron, good question. Yes and no. It's going to be more time consuming to do it with a Cricut Maker. He's asking whether or not he could cut out all these pieces with a Cricut Maker. You can, but with as many different size pieces as you're cutting, it's going to take you probably just as long to program it and send it
Yeah.
and layer everything as it is to just cut it with a rotary cutter and a ruler.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree with that because if that was a more viable option, I would have gone out and bought one of those things well before now.
yeah, the Cricut cutting is better. Welcome in, Sheila. The Cricut is better for cutting like one-off things that are
Right.
difficult to cut. Curved piecing. I remember back when I got my Cricut that there was a pattern for the masks that everybody was making. So you could
Oh,
actually
okay.
layer your fabric on the maker sheet thing or the grip sheet, and you could just cut, how many ever masks you layered on there that it would cut through at one time, and you had this detailed and potentially difficult shape cut out that way. Yes, Pam. She says, wouldn't Cricut be best for applique? Yes, absolutely. Cricut would be so fast for applique. Um, for patch making, um, and by the time that you layer the fabric, because you have to use that sheet that's got the adhesive on it, by the time that you pull the fabric off of the Cricut, the I can't even think of the mat, the cutting mat that goes into the machine. Um, by the time you pull the fabric off of there, it's going to stretch and skew a bit. So you're going to have to interface everything, and that just defeats the whole purpose. See, Kathy says she has a pattern that she's considering sending to the AccuQuilt to have a die made. Absolutely. It is when you have that one pattern you do over and over and over again. It is absolutely fantastic to have a die just to roll through the machine that way. The AccuQuilt is a lot faster.
Yeah, but there's like so many different sizes and shapes and
Mm-hmm.
that with these.
You just kind of have to buy a lot of them is the only problem because they're not
Yeah.
all on one die. Um,
Yeah, 'cause there's quarter-inch stuff, there's half inches. Yeah. I
yeah,
just take my time with the cutting. Yeah, I put on a movie or a video or TV show or something and just take my time with it and just enjoy it,
yes, Ron, that would actually do so much better. He says his Glowforge laser would work better for cutting. Yes, it would. Um, if you haven't cut fabric yet with your Glowforge, it is going to leave a little bit of a fabric burning smell. But yeah, you'll get precise pieces cut. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can just lay those into the laser and I don't know if you have to clamp it down or what you have to do. But yeah, you could actually make kits for other people that way. And there's probably a market for that. Just saying. Just saying.
A good chance of that.
Kathy says that she's asked them about one large die with all the cuts, and they said they could do that. Yeah, they can. It's just so like when you're laying something on the AccuQuilt, if you don't want all of your fabric cut into those shapes, then it wastes space, if that makes sense. So like the double wedding ring, if you don't want everything cut, into those particular shapes, then you don't cover up those shapes with your fabric, and it takes a little bit more time to do it that way. If you have a die that just cuts the one shape that you need, or if everything can be cut in all the different sizes, and it won't matter because they're interchangeable, then that's okay. As if they're not really as interchangeable, that's when it creates problems. Because I've thought about having a couple of custom dies done too, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Have not done it yet. I have one piece that was a little long. I wonder if I cut it right. Let's see. You can buy a ton of rotary blades for the cost of AccuQuilt. Yes, the AccuQuilt is good for hand issues. You're right, Pam. That is exactly why I have one. Because I was doing so much at one time that was the only way that I was going to be able to make it work. Yep, I did miscut. That's okay. I cut a piece a little long. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
There you go, Ron. He says he saw Rob Appel saying they cut theirs with a laser, and he said, maybe I'll just cut them and sell them to people who quilt. Then I won't have to be a quilter.
There you go.
Absolutely, Helen. Have a great night. Glad you were here. She says she's having to go because her iPad is dying.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for hanging out with us for a while.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you stopped in to say hi. Let's see. Yeah, I bought I had an AccuQuilt Go, and I ended up with a Go Baby at one point. And I really I wanted the studio cutter because then I could cut anything that AccuQuilt put out there. So I invested in that, but that's been years now. That was right after they first came out with the Studio 2 where the sides fold up. And it was a fantastic purchase. Expensive, but fantastic. So now mine sits where I can actually see it right now. It's just to the left of my camera. Oh, that looks so cute.
Yeah, I like these colors.
I should have stopped and shown as I was going. It's a little late for that now, though. I just need to press, and this one is done.
Yeah, this is the part where it like all flies together.
Mm-hmm. It really did go together a lot faster than I was expecting. A lot faster. I thought I had sewn something together wrong when I was looking at that one piece. But no, I just cut it. It's supposed to be like 1/4 of an inch. Absolutely, Kathy. She is having to go ahead and go call it a night. Absolutely. Have a great evening. Oh, good question. All right. Ron is asking, how long are my live streams? Longer than William's? No. Sunday night is usually a 2-hour live stream. It's not going to be that tonight because I have to get up way too early to drive. Linda's got to go as well. She's got to get stuff ready for work tomorrow. Have a good evening and have fun. Have fun. And
Thank
definitely
you all
have a
for
good week,
joining us.
Linda. Um, so, but normally Sunday nights is 2 hours. Tuesday nights are about 1 hour. Thursday nights have been between. Welcome in, Jess. Glad you're here. Um, Thursday nights have been between about an hour to. I think the longest we've ever gone is 2. I think that was like our break point where we had to call it a night. But normally, the longest my lives are is 2 hours. How about you, Sean? What's your longest?
I was on one with somebody once was 3 or 4, and that was way too long for me. Yeah, my Saturday ones are an hour and a half. And then yeah, I'm here with you for 2, and that's usually about as long as I ever want to go.
Yeah, two
So
is
yeah, I'm definitely
yeah.
yeah, I'm not one of the ones that does 12-hour lives. I know Mom and Pop do it sometimes. Katie does them sometimes, and more power to them. That's great for them. But yeah, it's not definitely not for me.
I can't do I cannot do the 12-hour lives right now. I am still um I had surgery back at the beginning of April, and because of my fibromyalgia, I do not recover very quickly. Ah, Jess is in Mississippi on her way back. Awesome. Please be careful. Are you driving and just listening? Please tell me you're just listening if you're driving. Um, and even if you're not, well, no. Be honest with me. Or please tell me you're parked. Oh, that's so cute. I will wait to show mine until you're done with yours. I'll trim off that quarter of an inch. Oh,
The legs.
yeah. And guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, please. I don't know where we're at on our likes tonight, but please don't forget to hit that. And if you have not checked out Sean's channel as well, he is the guy who sews. I'll grab your link for us. Let's see. Takes me. Oh, you know what? I think I have you already in here. We're gonna try it. We're gonna see. I think I've got you.
They probably do.
I think so. Because I don't think I ever pulled you back off. Normally I pull people who aren't on with me all the time.
So I should qualify for that.
Yep. Okay, well, Nightbot is really slow. She just saying she's driving until she drops. Ugh. Please be careful. Let's see. She's on A20. Yeah, there's nothing out there. Yeah, but still. Because she's going to be going through Alabama, and we've already had this discussion because I used to live there. So I was telling her places to hit and not hit. Oh, thank you, Ron. He says 27 likes and 37 people watching. Okay, who hasn't liked? Right? Right? All right, let me go check Nightbot and see what Nightbot has for me. Since Nightbot is not paying attention to me. Oh, well, okay, I should have known this. Yours is exclamation Sean. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
I was not thinking clearly. There we go. Sean's channel, guys. Jennifer is
There we
in
go.
Alabama. Yes, you are. I used to live there. Been a hot minute. I've been here. Oh gosh, how many months have I been here? See, June, May, June, July. I have now been here 27 months. So 2 years and 3 months.
Went to Alabama once. I think it was like 2011, 2012. I was down there for a week and a half for work.
I would have been in Huntsville at the time.
Yeah, I was in
Would
Birmingham. So
Oh,
went
yeah.
down to Montgomery. Went down to Montgomery to see a baseball game. So I figured, with a
The
team name with
biscuits.
the Biscuits, yeah, I
Yep.
was like, I've got to go check this out. And
Yeah, when they
it was
name
a
their
lot of fun.
baseball team after a food, right? Food is
Well,
important to Southerners.
oh, it is. And it was so funny because they sold biscuits like, they had like strawberry biscuits and chicken biscuits at as one of the concessions there, which were quite tasty. I did try those just to see how it would be. And then like most baseball games you go to, like they have a shirt cannon, they shoot shirts up. No, about
Mm-hmm.
6, 7 vending, whatever biscuits they don't sell, they wrap up, they take down, they throw it into the crowd.
Oh
So
wow.
hey, it's a
S-
good way to not, they didn't waste food. I mean, it's a good way to get rid of
no.
the unsold food. So
Yep. Cynthia says since she's home alone 90% of the time, she enjoys the long live streams for the noise and conversation while she's sewing, crafting, cleaning, whatever. Oh, that's gonna look so
that's,
cute. That's gonna look so
I'm just
cute.
I'm just putting his little legs on, and then the moment of truth will come in about 2 minutes.
Yep.
When we put the top on and see if my boo boo is going to be noticeable. I don't. In theory, it shouldn't,
Okay.
but we're not going to know until we try.
There you go. Ron says, you said you're using Streamlabs. Yes, I use Streamlabs. So Sean and I are on Zoom, and what I have set up is I have a screen capture. So it screen captures the Zoom screen, and I have to do a little bit of finagling with the audio and all of that. And if I want to add additional cameras, I can do that. Sean would have to zoom in with his additional cameras, so he'd have to like link them that way into the Zoom window. I, however, can just pull up one of my other sources and add an additional camera. So if I wanted to show you guys my machine or my ironing station or cutting or whatever, I could totally do that while I've got a Zoom going. It's fantastic. And so Streamlabs is actually free, so I don't pay anything for it. Cynthia says
Yeah.
her 18-year-old just graduated high school, so the official empty nest is coming in a couple of weeks, but it feels like one for the last 2 years. He's a busy teen. Yeah. The busier the teen, the more. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. I got news today. I finally heard from my great niece. She is graduating high school this upcoming May or June, whenever the graduation is. And
Right.
I had already told her parents that I was going to be making her a graduation quilt. And so she said purple and yellow, or let me make sure if it's purple and yellow or purple and gold, is the color she wants. Let's see. Purple and yellow. And she says, maybe whatever you think will look best. So I get to come up with a quilt, guys. I get to come up with quilts.
There you go.
Let's see. Cynthia, when are you officially moving to Virginia? Is Sheila's question.
My question is, what part of Virginia?
Oh,
Was it
that's
the
a good
big
question,
state?
too. I think she's not going to be far from you.
Oh,
I don't,
okay.
I don't remember for sure, but she'll be a lot closer than Oklahoma at that point.
I guess. Well, that's true.
uh, they were looking at moving to Colorado, so she'd be moving my direction, but instead they're moving your direction.
Colorado's pretty. I liked
It is.
Colorado.
Colorado's pretty. I just couldn't deal with the politics and the cost of living.
Right.
But Wyoming is so much prettier. One of the nice things. So every time I go down to Denver or go all the way down to Colorado Springs, I'm very aware of where the mountains are. And as you're looking at them, even from the interstate, all I'm seeing in the way is the utility poles. So the electric cables, and all of that. All of those utility poles are between the interstate and the mountains. So you don't get an unobstructed view just driving through the state. I know there's places that you can go where you can get an unobstructed view, but it's not like it is here where you might see an electricity pole every so often, but they're not obstructing your view of anything. Um, Cynthia's moving Labor Day weekend, or the goal is Labor Day weekend. And she says she's not getting her house packed fast enough, though. Packing is not fun. I'd rather pack than unpack, though.
The thing I remember when I went to Denver, like we flew in there and we were driving down like in towards the city. And one of the first things I remember seeing on this one of the signs on the side of the interstate, it said, "Do not stop for hitchhikers. They may be
Mm-hmm.
escaped felons." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's not very nice." Um,
uh, and she's saying Colorado is expensive. Her husband mentioned the other night that they might have to move to Wyoming when he retires in 10 to 12 years. She's cool with that too. Yay. I would love more company up here in Wyoming. Not too many people now, but a couple of good people, we're good.
too cold for
Oh,
me, so I won't be going out there anytime soon.
Cynthia says she's moving to Lynchburg.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's not too far. It's like 3 hours.
So the thing about Wyoming, don't buy your winter coats, don't buy winter gear, don't buy winter boots, don't buy any of that until you get here, because half of the stuff that you get anywhere else in the country will not stand up to the weather and the abuse that you'll put it through just living here. So I have some good winter clothes, winter weather stuff.
All right. Well, it didn't make any real. Well, yeah, it's just got this little thing in the middle of his head, but that's okay.
Okay.
No,
Yeah. Well, I don't see it.
like this. Well, this thing here should be like over here, but at the
Oh,
end of the day,
gotcha. Yeah, it's not gonna
yeah.
matter. It's not
No,
gonna matter. Mine's a little
there
wrinkly
we
because
go.
it got a little wet, but
There you go.
yay.
So that's our sheep.
Yep. So this is my dark sheep. I will have a light sheep that I will also be making. But
Hey.
yay.
So there you go.
So next month, are we doing tall or short sunflowers? Tall, right?
What's next on the list? Uh, says
Mary.
short. Says short on the
Oh,
pattern
okay.
that I've got.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll do short next time.
Okay.
We'll ease our way into it, and then
There we
when we
go.
do the large one, we'll be experts.
Oh, yeah, we can say that. We can say that. Oh, no, not any
Right.
black sheep. No. This is as dark as my black sheep gets.
I considered doing a black sheep, but I found this fabric, this really pretty
Yeah,
batik
I love
first.
that.
If I'd found black fabric that I liked first, I would have done a black sheep because I thought that'd be fun. But yeah, once this came out, that was the end of that conversation.
Yeah, it's
So
adorable.
the
It's
camera's just not
adorable.
showing it very well.
Oh, there we
There
go.
we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
so
better
gorgeous.
idea.
I love it. I love it. All
There you
right.
go.
Well,
Well,
so since we both have things to do in the morning, I have to get up and be traveling in, oh gosh, less than 12 hours, 12 minus 4, 8 hours, guys. I have to be traveling in 8 hours. So I need some sleep. So, what all do you have coming up on your channel, Sean?
just the normal stuff. We have our next Cotton Cuts clue will go out this week, I believe.
Ooh,
And then I will have Russ join me on Saturday morning and then podcast on Sunday. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else really planned at the moment.
okay.
But yeah, just my regular stuff. So yeah, go check out the channel if you haven't done so. Take a look if you like what you see. Hit that like button and all that good stuff. If you don't like what you see, thanks for checking it out. That's perfectly okay. I'm not everybody. Um, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. Um, yeah, no, I'm East Coast. I'm originally I was reading
Yeah.
I- yeah, his comment. I can't remember his
Ron's
name.
comment.
Yeah.
Ron. Yeah.
I'm originally Australian. I've been here 20 some years, but I still have retained the accent. So I'm always throwing people off. A lot of people think I'm in Australia too and doing lives in the middle of the night. So yeah, you are not alone, I can promise you.
So Tuesday, for those of you who have not heard or have not, seen my short, or if you haven't checked it out, go check it out to see them a little bit more closely. I have 10 quilts that are going up for auction on Tuesday night. So I will not be doing it as a premiere like I originally thought. I will be showing you guys pictures and video. And so we're going to get through it that way. And I do have the super chat giveaway going on Tuesday night. So you still can enter the super chat giveaway. Just do a super thanks after the live, and that will still count. But if you like any of these, you want to be here Tuesday night to see them all. Oh, you guys really can't see this one here. Oh well, it's okay. I guess it'll be all right. So, but thank you guys for being here. I will see you all Tuesday night. And then we have Thursday night with Kathy from My Hobby Home for Land That I Love. It will be the last Land That I Love. We will be done after this Thursday. And yeah, then I don't know what's coming up after that. I'm sorry. I can't speak to what's coming up after that. But thank you
Day
guys
by
for
day
being
sometimes.
It is. It is. So thank you guys for being here. Have a great night. If you have not gone to pet some fabric, touch, needle to thread and or pet your machine, please go do so before you get into bed. Monday starts a long week and we want you to have some happiness before you start that week. Get that dopamine